Hey gamers, it's your boy Put McGee here, back with another mustache and another Magic the Gathering video. Today we're going to be playing a deck called Bant. I'm calling it Bantiform because we are doing Neoform in Bant. That is green, blue, and white. And we're also running, obviously, Prime Speaker Vannifar, but we're only running 2 copies of her because our main way to Neoform is actually going to be Neoform. So the kind of point of this deck is to play creatures early on in the game that have enter the battlefield values, and then we sacrifice those creatures to go into our library and search for a creature card with converted mana cost equal to 1 plus the sacrificed creature's converted mana cost, and then put that card on the battlefield with an additional +1/+1 counter on it. So we want all of our creatures to have enter the battlefield effects, so they happen immediately, and then usually we can justify sacrificing them later for something slightly more powerful. So let's just go up the line here real quick. We've got, obviously, we're running our Boreal Grazer. That is our desired 1-drop, so we can go ahead and get an extra land onto the field and then sacrifice it to bring something more powerful on. We're also running 2 Healer of the Glade, and you'll see that because we're running 4 copies of Risen Reef. Risen Reef is actually one of the better cards in this deck, but it is also one of the only, we don't have a whole lot of elementals in this deck, right? We're not running elementals here except for 4 Risen Reefs and 2 Healers of the Glade, and then we've got a Cavalier of Dawn later on and a Cavalier of Thorns. So we do have a few elementals, and that's the reason we want to run a Healer of the Glade. I had a couple of extra slots open, and Healer of the Glade is nice early on in the game to play against aggro as a blocker, or just, we gain some life, and then we can sack it to bring in Charming Prince or Fibblethip the Lost. But it also helps us later on in the game if we do have a Risen Reef on the field. Drawing a Healer of the Glade is not a dead draw like our Boreal Grazer kind of is in the late game. So, speaking of 2-drops, let's look at those. We've got Fibblethip the Lost, which is just an enter the battlefield, you draw a card. And then Charming Prince is slightly different, and the reason I play Charming Prince instead of more copies of Fibblethip is because I like the versatility of this card. We can either scry 2, we can gain 3 life, or we can exile another target creature we own and then return it to the battlefield under our control at the beginning of the next end step. So, I like Charming Prince mainly for the 3rd ability, that exile another creature, and then it comes back at the beginning of our end step. We can do that with really anything, whether it's Knight of Autumn, Risen Reef, early plays that we get a lot of value in from entering the battlefield. And even if we drop this on like turn 2, or I don't know, whenever we drop this, we can do it on Fibblethip, something else like Wicked Wolf, make it fight another creature, stuff like that. We get a lot of extra value out of Charming Prince when it enters the battlefield, and since it's only a 2/2 body, we don't really feel that bad about sacrificing it later on for something bigger. Moving on, we've got 2 Deputy of Detention, 2 Knight of Autumn, and 4 Risen Reef. And you will see as we go up the line, the numbers of creatures, the numbers of copies of creatures that we're playing is going to go down because of the ability we have to search our library for a specific creature with a specific converted mana cost and put it onto the battlefield. And so we're turning our deck into a sort of toolbox in that way. We want to have a lot of different options when we're searching our library to get stuff out of it. So we do have 2 Deputy Detention, 2 Knight of Autumn, and 4 Risen Reef. Risen Reef is the most important here in this slot because it allows us to ramp and gives us continuous value, whether it's drawing us a card into our hand or just putting another land on the field. All of that is good. We also have Deputy Detention for removal, mainly for planeswalkers or, sometimes creatures. If they have a lot of like tokens or multiple creatures of the same name, that's especially useful. This can also be used for Fires decks. If we get them on turn 4, we can, that's kind of why we play Knight of Autumn too, is if we're running up against Fires decks, we can destroy their Fires of Invention with Knight of Autumn, or we just remove it temporarily with Deputy Detention. So all of that is good into the battlefield effects. The one thing I don't like about Deputy Detention is that we don't usually want to be sacrificing this because we want to keep it on the field in order to keep whatever we have removed. We want to keep that exiled. But sometimes if it's, if we're getting rid of tokens, it affects immediately, so it'll wipe all those tokens, and then we can sacrifice Deputy Detention or bounce it out with Charming Prince and bring it back to exile something else. So Deputy Detention is reasonably useful, but I'm open to different options. If you have suggestions in the comments, please leave those below. So in the 4 slot, I've already talked about Prime Speaker Vannifar, but we also have 2 Elite Guard Mages, which is just drawing a card, gaining 3 life. I really, really like this card. especially as a flyer. It's given me a lot of options in some of my practice games to fly over the top of blockers and take out planeswalkers and things like that that are going to be problematic for us. Also, 2 Wicked Wolf. This is another piece of removal because we're going to need some of that. I do like Wicked Wolf. The only issue I have with playing Wicked Wolf here is that we don't really have a way to make food tokens. And so you may want to consider playing Gilded Goose instead of Healer of the Glade, or instead of 4 Arboreal Razors, you can maybe cut this down and run Gilded Goose to make food for you. But I think we're going to be fine without having that food. Just Wicked Wolf as removal is pretty nice. And then we have a single copy of Spark Double. Spark Double is good because it can just be whatever we want it to be. I like that. It's another kind of toolbox effect that we have. Also, you'll see we're running Tamiyo, Collector of Tales. And the reason we're doing this is because sometimes when we sacrifice creatures, we will want to pull them back from our graveyard into our hand and then play them again. But this also protects us against hand hate and then allows us to search our library for stuff like if we're missing Prime Speaker Vanifar, or if we don't have any Neoforms and we kind of want one to cast, we can go into our library, or we can choose that as a non-land card name and then hope we draw it off the top, right? In the top 4 cards. And then on to our 5-drop toolbox up here. So we've got, starting at the top, Cavalier of Dawn. This is a removal of any kind of non-land permanent. I really like that. Of course, it gives them a 3/3 colorless golem artifact creature, but we're not worried about that. We use this mainly for getting rid of planeswalkers, but sometimes pesky creatures or artifacts and enchantments, of course, this will be hitting those. We also have Biogenic Ooze. This is a more aggressive strategy. This makes us a lot of, gives us a lot of power on the board immediately. It basically, if this survives till our end step, it's giving us 2 3/3s, which is really nice. And then we can trigger it later on, use its ability later. If we're running out of cards, we can make more oozes that are just going to get stronger and stronger. And then we also have a Cavalier of Thorns here, which is another way to ramp. It's also another elemental. I do like that, but it's a big body. Cavalier of Thorns is a very nice defensive creature, so if we're seeing things like Hydroid Krasis or like Arclight Phoenixes or something, we can put this up, and it has a 5/6 body with reach. It's pretty good. And then when it dies, we can bring back something from our graveyard to the top of our library for the next turn. We're also playing Tristani Discordant. I like this card. It's really, really nice, especially if we're doing a little go wide strategy. Maybe we already have a Biogenic Ooze on the field. Tristani is pretty helpful in that scenario. Speaking of tokens, we've got Tolsimir, Friend of Wolves. This is another really nice toolbox thing. It's got removal. It's got life gain. We like all that. And then Rolesk is a 4/5 flyer for 5 mana, but it also has trample, and when it enters the battlefield, you put 2 +1/+1 counters on another target creature we control. So this is immediate value by putting counters on a creature, and it's just kind of a nice flying body for us later on in the game. I think that's probably enough talking about the deck. I don't know how long I've been rambling at this point. About 8 minutes, that's fine. Also, you'll notice that I'm having a bad hair day, so I am wearing a hat. If you were wondering why I'm wearing a hat, that's why. My hair's not great today. We are running only 24 lands. I'm not going to run through the whole thing. Also, sneak peek, you're going to probably see a Gruul Phoenix deck coming up soon. It's been pretty fun. Turn 1 Phoenix is pretty disgusting, but the deck is pretty inconsistent, I will admit. It's more of a meme than anything. So let's jump into some ranked games and see if we can actually win anything. I've had a reasonable amount of success with this deck, but mainly we're winning in like those grindy games. Like we just get a lot of value out of our stuff, and we're able to grind out our opponents by drawing more cards, gaining more life, and then slowly poking them down. We have to watch out for a lot of board wipes, etc. But you always have to watch out for that. Okay, what's happening? Why am I not finding a game? Usually you find a game pretty quickly in ranked. Maybe because it's Wednesday that I'm filming this. It's a brawl day, so maybe people are just not playing standard because they want to play brawl. I don't know. Come on, opponents. They're scared. That's what it is. Okay, we did find a game finally after a minute of waiting. Fing Baloo. This is not ideal. I'm going to keep this because we do have Temple of Mystery to start off. We've got 2 Neoforms, which I like. If we can draw into an early play, like maybe a Fibblethip for turn 2. That'd be pretty nice. So we can Neoform it and go for a Risen Reef. Okay. I can't tell if my opponent is being slow or the game is being slow, but I think it's my opponent. Elite Guard Mage, we'll bottom that. We don't have enough mana to cast that anyway right now. Gutter Bones. Alright. Ah, nice. Arboreal Grazer is good. We'll go ahead and play it and then put Temple Garden onto the field tapped, and then we can play Fabled Passage, go ahead and sacrifice it to get a forest. I should have mentioned, I guess, when talking about lands, that we are only running forests as basics because we want to make sure that if we draw a basic land on turn 1, if we have a basic land in our opening hand, that we can play Arboreal Grazer with it, rather than shocking in like a Temple Garden or something like that. Orzhov Enforcer. Okay, well, yeah, cool. Ooh. I'll go ahead and Neoform, sacrifice Arboreal Grazer. I'll get Fibblethip. We could Neoform again with it. Get a Risen Reef. But we'd have to shock that in. I don't really see a whole lot of reason to do that right now. I'm just going to hold it as a blocker. Keep damage off of our face, because we've got a ton of value in hand right now, and we're a land ahead. IR First of Lochthwain is a bummer, so we may want to Deputy of Detention that. I think I actually block Orzhov Enforcer here. I know that it has Afterlife, but I think that's just the better choice, because they can get Gutter Bones back easily. Ooh, oh, Wicked Wolf is definitely the play right here. So we can make it fight Iara, and then we just pass the turn. That's fine. It's a good blocker for Gutter Bones, and then we have plenty of value here. Like, we can Spark Double and make a 4/4 Wicked Wolf to fight whatever they play, or we can just gain some life and draw a card with Elite Guard Mage. We've got plenty of value in our hand right now. I'm really pleased with this start, actually. This looks, I mean, they're playing Orzhov. Yeah, Orzhov. Lame, annoying stuff. That's what they're doing. I think I'll play Elite Guard Mage. That seems like the choice. Gain 3 life, draw a card, another Elite Guard Mage. That's fine. We'll hold Wicked Wolf as a blocker. So we have a blocker for everything. We have to try to avoid taking a bunch of annoying damage from Cauldron Familiars and whatnot. That really sucks. Okay. Huh. I'm thinking we want a Deputy of Detention Witch's Oven out of the way, but I don't really want to play that right now. I think the best choice would be to just go throw in another Elite Guard Mage and start attacking, actually. Let's see what we draw here. I'm hoping we can get our 5th land so I can play Rolesk without Neoforming. Opponent, you gonna resolve that? The only thing you can do is sacrifice Cauldron Familiar. I mean, I know you're gonna do it at some point, but could you pay attention? Maybe they're cooking dinner or something, and they're not paying attention to what's happening in this game. Yes, we got our land. Cool. I think we attack with Elite Guard Mage. We've got the flyer at this point, and we also kind of have them on the ropes in terms of we've got them stalled out where they can't really attack us without losing any of their key pieces. So we might as well get in a little bit of damage now while we have the chance. Because we're going to be taking a lot of passive damage every turn from that Cauldron Familiar combo. Midnight Reaper. Okay. Orzhov Enforcer. We take the 1 damage from that. Gutter Bones too, huh? Okay, I think we do block the Gutter Bones this turn. We don't block the Orzhov Enforcer. Unfortunately, they draw a card from that. Okay, I don't want to play Arboreal Grazer just to sacrifice it. I'm going to go Rolesque Apex Hybrid. Put counters on Elite Guard Mage. Attack with it. And that's a fine turn. I think they may have passed there accidentally without sacrificing Cauldron Familiar. That's an oopsie. We take that damage, no blocks. Okay, so they get to draw a card from that. We need to get rid of Midnight Reaper pretty quickly. So maybe I Neoform one of the Elite Guard Mages to get Tulsimir. There's also IR for Block Thwain. We don't really like that. Okay. So we know what they've got right now. Let's see. Okay, Fabled Passage. Let's go ahead and get our land here. We're short on blue mana sources, which really is annoying. I'm actually going to Deputy of Detention their Witch's Oven. And then I'm gonna go to combat, attack with all of my flyers. See if they block anything. That'll be 10 damage if they don't. And they can block 4 of it with... Okay, or they can do that. And this is a token creature, so that it doesn't trigger Midnight Reaper. I'm pretty okay with that. And I will Neoform, sacrifice this bad boy right here. Yeah, we'll sacrifice that because I want to keep an extra blocker there. I think we go Tulsimir. Make it fight Midnight Reaper. I'm actually going to go ahead and play Arboreal Grazer just as a potential Neoform target for next turn. I probably won't end up doing that. Sorin, ugh, that sucks. So now everything has lifelink. That's pretty terrible, and they can get back their Midnight Reaper. We just have to pump out a ton of damage real quick. Let's see. Yikes. I think I block Cauldron Familiar. And that's it. I'm wondering... What's the best strategy here? To kill, I really need to kill them next turn, or they're gonna blow up on me. I need to kill them or gain a bunch of life. Okay. I could do Spark Double on Tulsamir to make another wolf. That's not a bad idea, actually. They're gonna, yeah, I'm gonna Spark Double on Tulsamir. I want it to fight. It doesn't make much difference. I just need it to survive the first fight. So I fight Corpse Knight. They take 1 damage and draw a card. They're going to probably sacrifice Orzhov Enforcer here. Oh, they don't. Okay. I thought they would tap that and sack Orzhov Enforcer. But they're trying not to die. Now, let's see how I can win here. I've got 4, 8, 12, 15 damage on the attack, but they can block 4 of it. Dang. Oh wait, cancel. Oh, I know what I do. I pay 2 life, and I get rid of Midnight Reaper as a blocker. I was not thinking that through very well. Attack all, except for you and you, just in case something crazy happens, and we win! That was a bit of a mind bender. I was being dumb, ignoring the useful card in my hand, thinking that I needed a Neoform and get something else of value out of the deck, when I didn't. We just got that, baby. That felt good. That's one of my least favorite decks to play against, is things with Cauldron Familiar and whatever, Witches thing. This, you know what I'm talking about. Witches Cauldron, Doodle Dob Doodle Doodle Dee, Senpai 92. Yeah. Okay, this is actually a very good hand, because we can go Arboreal Grazer and drop in a Temple of Mystery right after that. The bad news is, first of all, they are playing aggro. Oh, that's actually really good. Okay. Good news is we have a blocker, but we need a white mana source on top, so we bottom that forest. We also get Arisen Reef next turn. So we gotta watch out for Torbrand coming in on turn, whatchamacallit. Oh, yes, take action, enters tapped. Okay, cool. No attacks, obviously. We want blockers. We can play Rolesque Apex Hybrid next turn if we want to. Okay, well that sucks. We block you. Instead of Fervent Champion, I'm worried about a shock on my Arboreal Grazer, so I need to keep that around. We really... Yeah, okay, so we'll do this. Go in and fish for another forest. Thin the deck a little bit. Drop that in. I think we don't play Rolesque yet. I need to get Prime Speaker Vannifar down onto the field, so that we can start sacrificing things and moving up in the deck. We need really, we can get a Fibblethip out of the deck, or we can, oh, there's Torbrand, so that's horrible. We lose one Arboreal Grazer. Let's see what we draw. Breeding Pool is not great. Let's go for... I think we need to go for Fibblethip here, because we need to draw 2 cards. I think the gaining 3 life doesn't do us enough good at this point, so we just play Fibblethip, and that's fine. Tranquil Cove is decent, and then we go Knight of Autumn and gain 4 life with that. So we have 2 blockers. I really need to keep one of these around to sacrifice with Prime Speaker Vannifar to move up. So we need to get rid of Torbran. Thane of Red fell. So we probably want to keep Fibblethip to go for Deputy of Detention. This is going to be potentially too much damage to recover from. I'm a little worried about that. Okay, Shock. Interesting choice. I go to 10. Cavalier of Thorns is very good. Oh, wait. Cancel. Let's go to combat first. Deal our 1 damage, our very important damage. They may have a shock on Prime Speaker Vannifar, which is going to make me pretty sad, actually. Okay, fine. It's not great, but it's fine. Yeah, we just go Cavalier of Thorns here. Which isn't good because we can't even sacrifice it with Prime Speaker. Ugh, that's a shame. Okay, at least we have good blockers. So they can't attack with Torbran without risking losing him to Cavalier of Thorns, and it gives us a chance to recover. But we are going to take 3 damage from 10th Street Dodger every turn until we get this figured out. Not great. Okay, we lose now. I'm pretty sure we lose. Because we just can't do anything. Yeah, I mean, we don't lose yet. I'll put counters on Prime Speaker, and then we just can't attack. Pass turn. It's a bummer that we actually drew these in our hand. We normally don't want to draw our 5 drops. Well, that's a haste creature, so I think we lose now. Because I can't block 10th Street Dodger. Oh, okay. Why do they not attack with everyone? That makes no sense. Again, a really terrible draw. Doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. Why I'm drawing 5 drops. I really don't like that. I mean, we've lost this. We needed to get at minimum get a 4-drop so that we could play it and sacrifice it and get Tulsamir, because we really needed Tulsamir to win that game. Why is... Okay, they're going to Castle and Breath. I was just confused at why they didn't attack with everyone right there. Didn't make much sense, but they still beat me. That's fine. I'm pretty okay with losing to Mono Red when we got kind of a weak start. And they got a exceptionally good start. So hitting Torbran on turn 4 with Mono Red is pretty sick, and I never could find removal. I've like a decent amount of removal in this deck. You know, that's a terrible hand. 3 Mountain or 3 Forest is just not gonna cut it. So, okay, that's good. We will keep 6. Put Biogenic Ooze up in there. Okay, we will shock in Breeding Pool. Go Arboreal Grazer. Temple of Mystery. We get a Scry out of that. Wicked Wolf. We don't need that right now. We already have one of them in our hand. Okay. Simic ramp / elementals. Let's go ahead and do Temple of Mystery here. Fibblethip. Do we want to draw Fibblethip? Not really. But yeah, we don't do that. I don't think we play Healer of the Glade right now. Anyway, I think we wait until we potentially get a whatchamacallit. Well, that sucks. Okay. So we go get our forest. I actually do need probably one of each other basic land in here, like one island and one doodle, that one plains. Yeah, we need to play Deputy Detention, get rid of that Oko. ASAP Rocky. Because Oko is Broko. No one's ever said that joke before.
I invite you to change your ways.
Yikes. Okay. They attack like that. I actually block. Come on, dude. Really? Really? We can't get our one white mana source to play Deputy of Detention? And we don't have we don't have a Neoform either, so that's good. Okay, I think we lose this one at this point. Too much value on the board to really respond to. I mean, I guess we can, but just it's gonna be tough. It's gonna be really tough.
Welcome to the feast.
Another Gilded Goose. Interesting choice, not attacking first. I think they didn't mean to do that. Surely that's a mistake, right? Okay, come on. Just mana screwed. Okay, now that I've realized my error with my basic lands, I'm gonna go make that edit real quick. Just skip ahead in the video. We'll cut those two forests, go one plains and one island. Good. We just want that for the Fabled Passage, because when I played the Fabled Passage, I already had blue and green mana sources, but I needed a white, but I couldn't get it because I don't have any white basic lands. I just need one. That's really it, just to activate stuff. Bad hand, only 2 lands. Another 2-land hand with a bunch of 5-drops that I don't want. This is horrible hands here. Okay. Bad, but keepable. I will probably dump Tamiyo. I'm gonna get rid of Tamiyo and Elite Guard Mage. I want to keep Neoform around. Okay. Hopefully we can recover from having to mulligan twice there. It's pretty rough. I have faith in the deck. We can get value. If we get Risen Reef, we're gonna be fine. So it feels like they've got Once Upon a Time in their hand because they're having to pass priority without any mana up. Yep, there it is. Once Upon a Time. Mr. Rug Tumpington. So they get a forest. Gilded Goose. Oh, great. Looks like Simic again. Gotta love that. So we'll go Temple of Mystery. Wicked Wolf is not really what we want to draw. We really do need Risen Reef. I was not lying about that. We really do. This feels like they're going to play... Oh, okay. Paradise Druid. Interesting. Oh, yes, yes, Risen Reef is good. Okay, so we go Risen Reef. Deputy Detention. Okay. Not bad. If we need to, we can shock in Hallowed Fountain. Considering potentially neoforming Risen Reef into, what would we go into? Azorius Skyguard or Azorius Guard Mage? Elite Guard Mage, not Azorius. It is Azorius colors, but it does not have Azorius in the name. Neoform into Elite Guard Mage. That's not a bad play. I feel like if I block this, they have some kind of thing to stop me. Like, I would take that trade, actually, but... yeah, let's Neoform into Elite Guard Mage here. I don't really like getting rid of a Risen Reef, but it's kind of okay. Okay, so then we'll play a Hallowed Fountain. The real question is, what are they doing? What are they doing? I'm assuming they're playing just Celestia tokens. So they've got to have whatchamacallit. What do you call it? Oh, they're not. They're playing Abzan. That's okay. Surprising. It's fine. It's just a little surprising. Wicked Wolf, you say? Okay. That's a bummer. They kill my Elite Guard Mage, so they can actually deal a little damage here. And they keep their Wicked Wolf around, but I can Deputy of Detention their Wicked Wolf away. Is this up to... fights up to one target creature you don't control? Thibblethip the Lost is actually quite a nice draw right here, so we'll just play that as a cantrip. We draw a card. Fingers crossed it's kind of good. Yeah, Breeding Pool is not great, but we'll have to shock in a land to play Deputy of Detention. I meant to play one of these as another white mana source, but that's fine. We'll just do that. Get rid of their Wicked Wolf. Abzan. They must be doing like Abzan Wolves then? I just haven't seen any of their big stuff. Like, I haven't seen Tolsimir or Garruk yet, or Arlen. I guess you probably play Arlen in this. There's Garruk, the Cursed Huntsman. There he is. Right after I played my Deputy of Detention. Right. Oh, goody. Yep. We're about to get out value towned. Okay, Tolsimir's really good here. So we just drop him in, do that, kill their Wicked Wolf while they don't have any food to keep it alive, and then we'll play Hallowed Fountain. So we've got lots of mana, a frustrating draw of cards here. There's Nissa who shakes the world. I'm actually going to not block this. I could block that, but I think I don't. So in order to win, we're going to have to get rid of their Planeswalkers, which we don't have a great way of doing at this point. Ooh, that is interesting. That is really interesting. I will do Night of Autumn, put counters on her. And then I will go Charming Prince, and I'm actually going to exile Tolsimir and bring him back in. I'm going to hold the land just so they think maybe I have something. Obviously I don't, but they might think I have something. And I make it fight the plains. Die, land. Okay, they make a food token. Those two die. We're gonna have to go over the top. You know, we're gonna have to play some flyers here if we want to win. We can't really go wide exactly. I don't love the idea of just letting Garrick's Wolves bully me down. Yeah, so they are playing Ebbs and Wolves. Mm-hmm.
Harness the elements.
That is a bad draw. I don't think we can catch up in this game. It would be very tough to catch up. I mean, like, we could catch up if we, you know, drew Elite Guard Mage, we drew a Neoform to get rid of Charming Prince into, you know, something that exiles all those wolves, so we can get rid of Garrick, or exiles Nissa, but then they probably just play a Tulsamir or a Wicked Wolf and kill our Deputy Detention. The more I play it in this current meta, Deputy Detention feels bad. There's too many easy ways of removal that they can get their stuff back. That feels kind of bad, so okay. I'm just gonna let him hit me, and I'm gonna lose here. I let myself die. It was a valiant effort. Their deck, like, Planeswalkers are just so much more powerful than any of the creatures in our deck. Like, if it plays right, it's pretty good, and I like the toolbox effect. But sometimes you end up not drawing very well, and they have Planeswalkers on the field that we have to respond to once, and they've already gotten their value out, so it's just a little bit rough. That's going to be it for this video. It's not a bad deck by any means. I think it didn't show very well today, but I think there are a couple questionable choices in this. Like, Deputy Detention feels weak now that I'm playing it. I think there's probably other 3-drops that we can play, like, for instance, literally anything with Enter the Battlefield effects. Like, Hanged Executioner is actually pretty good in this, potentially. What else, like, could we do? We could even run, like, not say screw Into the Battlefield effects. We could just play, like, we could also run Prison Realms and things like that. I don't like Cloud Seer is another option that I toyed with. I like Cloud Seer for the card draw, and it's an elemental to trigger off Risen Reef. So that's a good, decent option, but it's not. I wanted to have the removal, and finding really good removal in these colors is a bit iffy. The best way to do it is with Wolves and Deputy Detention, actually, or just enchantments, which, since we're running Pod, we don't really want to run enchantments, but you know how it is. There's definitely other options, but I think it's an okay deck. I'm not hating on it, but I'm not loving it. It didn't show very well right there. Stay tuned on the channel. If you are new to the channel, I welcome you. If you've been with me for a while, welcome back. You will be seeing Gruul Phoenix coming out soon. I've been working on this deck and working on that video, so hopefully you'll see something cool out of that coming up. And thank you for watching this video. I hope you liked the deck, and suggestions, go to the comments below. Smash like.